connected.
So after seeing so many people crashing here, I knew that I had to get myself somewhere safer, because I suspected it was just a matter of time. I was playing the numbers and I knew the numbers would not be in my favour all the time, forever. So took the plunge when a motorcycle of mine was stolen. When the insurance payout finally came through, I used it to buy a beat up old bike. Actually, it was a beat up brand new bike with a friend of mine. We fixed it up, got it ready for racing, and he and I shared that bike for a while until he got his own. Had a lot of fun. And then learned how to ride bit by bit, changed my riding, learned how to work on a bike, learned how to tune it, had more fun. Took a while, but then after a while the results started coming through, and yeah, I started winning trophies. I always joke that these little plastic, horrible, gold coated plastic trophies cost like $3,000 to $4,000 each, in tyres and entry fees and tools and replacement parts, fuel, trailer, transport vehicle, broken leathers, repairs, new helmets. Yeah, easily $4,000 to $5,000 each for these little dinky plastic trophies with some sort of zinc gold coating. But what a fun time. And then just as I was getting the hang of the racing, I had my best ever result in a race day that was raining, just pouring rain, and I had more fun that day and better results than ever before. Everybody was crashing around me, and I knew slow and steady would win the race, and sure enough it really did. Guys who I would battle with every race were just crashing. So I thought, okay, thank you. I don't mind if I do take your space. And then sure enough, yeah, looking around, oh my goodness, I just won that race. And then one time I snuck up behind a faster rider on a bigger bike. I knew he was about to look behind him, so I moved to the other side and he looked. Then when he did, I moved to the other side again. He looked, couldn't see me. Followed him until we came to the last corner, and I could see his father on the side of the track waving, saying, look out, look out. But he wasn't paying attention, and just as we came onto the main straight, I accelerated and passed him just before we went over the line, and that was another win for me. That was so much fun. I had a few other races after that, but I realised that winning a race gave me no more satisfaction than finishing second or third or fourth or fifth or 10th if it was a hard fought position. If I was battling and dicing with someone for a 10th place, I would have more fun doing that than a flag to flag victory. So when I realised that the victories, the wins, meant almost nothing to me, I thought, why am I racing then? I could ride for a lot less on a track day than it costs me to ride in a race. I get more laps for less money with a lot less risk. So I quit. I sold my street bike and my race bike, which was, the street bike was the spares supply for the race bike. Sold them both, travelled, went overseas, had a fun time, came back, still had my RC30, just used it for track days. Did a lot of track days on that thing. I had a blast. Sometimes I would put slicks on it and trailer it out, other times I'd just put street tyres on it and ride it to the track. I had track fairing, so I never really cared terribly much if I crashed it, but I never did. I was never pushing very hard. But then again, that was always my problem when I was racing. I remember one time at Emeroo, I was in a race and someone crashed right next to me. Oh jeez. Well, one of the classic risks of riding in Australia. That would have been funny. That would, if I had hit that thing and crashed, I would have laughed because I would have caught it on video. That was hilarious. Anyway, oh, I can't believe that. That's so lucky. Anyway, so yeah, there I was in a race, and a guy crashed. He was in a big long right-hander at Amaru, and the guy crashed right next to me. And I knew he was going to hit me if I didn't get out of there, so I accelerated. And the guy's bike slid behind me instead of hitting me. And then I realized afterwards, well, if I could go that fast to avoid a crash, why can't I go that fast when I'm not avoiding a crash? And I realized my brain just won't let me do that. It's always saving some capacity. It's always got a safety margin. And the same applies when I was riding on the track, just doing track days. I was never pushing 100% because I just couldn't really. My body wouldn't let me exceed my safety limits. And then when things did go wrong, I always had just a little bit of braking ability, cornering ability, obstacle avoidance ability, and issues happened all the time. I remember one time coming around a blind corner on an Eastern Creek Raceway, and there was a gaggle of 250s right in front of me, and I was easily doing 50, 60, maybe even 100 kilometers an hour more than they were, and all I could do was just jam on the brakes. And I realized that my bike's abilities were so much greater than I realized, so I just literally came to a stop behind them, waited for them to get out of the way, and took off. So many times when I was going down the main straight at Eastern Creek, turn 1 is a horrendously fast left-hander, my bike's abilities so far exceeded my own that no matter what I did, it could always make up for my inability. It could always cater for my stupidity. If I screwed up, it had more lean angle. If I screwed up, it had better brakes than I knew it had. And it was an amazing feeling to know that I would be leaned over and had to turn a little faster because I misjudged the corner, and then just, yeah, keep leaning, and it just kept gripping. And at one point I remember my knee was on the ground on the deck with the slider grinding away, and then I realized that the side of the fairing was also leaning on the other side of my knee, so I literally couldn't lean any further, and yet it still felt like it had plenty of grip, more cornering grip than I knew what to do with. That was an amazing machine. And yeah, I still have it. I used it to its... I used it up, really. I just rebuilt it so it has new pistons and rings, conrods, wheels, bearings, every part that I could replace and upgrade or rejuvenate, I did so, but the main crank journal's plain bearings are no longer available. So everyone else who has that specific type of RC30 also is unable to get bearings for them. So they also don't use their bikes either. They're just display items now. It runs great, but I don't dare use it in case something was to go wrong, and it would go from a fully functional bike that can be used to a paperweight.